I just come on here tonight to kind of reach out a little bit. I will say there's been little differences this week. I'll tell you all a few stories as we carve along tonight, but do want to mention that I faced a little scam this week through Facebook and PayPal. It's quite a long story, but somebody in a foreign country was kind of making a post like they were having a show here in Lexington, Kentucky, like, you know, the name on the profile and the name on the PayPal didn't match, neither did the name on the email, and figured that out once the money was already sent. Don't I can probably say, looking back, don't think the person sounded legit, but I've reported that. It's been taken care of. Sometimes there also gets to be those moments when there gets to be little issues with my work. Like, we've had them in the past, and we've probably got a few right now, but we're settling that. We're taking care of that. It's all good, and we know it always gets better in the long run before the year ends. And I just have a little more to say tonight about the fact that this was one of those days where first of all, I'll tell you, when I've been at Starbucks and McLeod's during the day, Starbucks at night, I've been sewing up the walruses you saw the video about, and that's been another one of those things where I've tried to work on that as I went. And today I came straight home from work because it was pouring down rain. I just felt a little too tired from it to go out to a coffee shop or to McLeod's this afternoon. Probably a little too tired to go to Starbucks tonight. Will tell you all that sometimes in these places I hear young people having young people conversations Sometimes I'd say, it can probably be a little too much for a man my age, and also that's kind of why it just does us a little good just to kind of get away from places for a while. I've been getting away from my social media and stuff, trying to get out of that issue and out of that problem. So we've got one thing we're taking care of there. And I do want to go a little further on carving this shepherd here. So we're going to kind of draw a couple more lines here and make the lines in the wood. And as you see here, I've just made this little line here that's already been drawn to kind of make out the bottom of its hands. You can see it's kind of slanted a bit, but that's kind of how you carve the shepherd. I will kind of make a little line here to show where the carving will need to stop and try to draw the line in just the right place where it needs to be. Take care of little things like little that. And I say that we're kind of working along on this. And I'd like to say that there have been a few projects I've been trying to get done in time for Easter as well. We're kind of working on that right now. And one thing I will say, that the event I was talking about a while ago was a little spring pop-up shop thing that was being advertised. I thought it was legit. Sometimes, just sometimes, little things like that, they just kind of make it out like we don't know exactly who's going to understand or what it's going to be, but we're settling the matters. And I just got an email today about another show that's coming up in May at the Journey Church, which is where I've always gone every fall, every year, to kind of do little setups now and then. So we've got that managed. We're taking care of little things like that. We're working along on this. I'd say right now, where I drew the line on the shepherd, that is where I'm going to carve out the part for the belly of the robe. I say that I've already gone that much pretty far, and It's going to be probably a little bit of a different shape here on Mary and Joseph when we go to carving on those, but that's how I go about on the shepherd here. I've already drawn another line on this one too, and we're going to carve along that one as well. Take it where it ought to go, where it needs to go. I show you all that this little bit of work is going to be fine with us when we get it all taken care of in the midst of all things. Get to where we have a little grace to show, a little grace to give, and I say that this little work is going to show you all that there's a way to go about it when you do it. I mean, sometimes little things happen in times and places, and we kind of go about our work and our business and our lives. So what I have to say is that that's how it's going to go. And so many items I purchase, and sometimes I'm buying new ones, and sometimes they get mislaid. So I've been kind of getting on Amazon and looking for ways to purchase new ones and purchase them in bigger bulks, so I'll have plenty of them to use just in case some of them get lost. About to order some more inch and centimeter rulers and probably a few more pairs of fabric scissors, because those are the things I've been having trouble so much keeping up with. And of all the things that get lost in places, we'll show you all now. I'm going to carve along this part of the robe to kind of make it a little thinner to the inside here. Oh, the work that comes this way. We got a little faith in our souls, a little faith to do little special good things. Oh, this work is taking us captive to the next level in time. Oh, I say, little work shall come a long way and make its way to us. Given the fact that I'm doing these on video, they may not turn out to be the best shepherds I've ever made, but I say that this is a way we go just to demonstrate. A little practice is all it takes to kind of talk and work at the same time when you're doing something. So this is how that's going to go. I've been getting some emails from Amazon saying I qualified for business only pricing, but not quite ready to do that yet, because I'd say we're going to have to try to let the taxes be taken care of at the time when we really need to. So that's how that's going to be. And so we don't need any additional tax charges right now until we get all this taken care of. So I say that I do the same work here on the other shepherd, and once I get done with this one, we'll show you how it's turned out. The work is being done, being made. I say that a little time and a little work and a little grace is all we're going to need in this little project to make it come along just fine and make it turn out the way it needs to be. Bless the Lord, bless the children, bless all those in need. I say that this is a little grace we got into us here. I say that we gotta work along on this here and take it on. I say that this is how I've gotten along on this so far. Just to take it a little further, here's what else we need to do. I'd say I'm really getting the hang of this. And just to show you all a little bit more, I say this is how I've gotten it to turn out. Got the little places underneath the road made. There's a certain step we're going to have to take eventually, but I say that there's just something we're going to have to read here. Kind of have to take little steps in order here. So I guess I'd say that we're going to have to find out how we're going to cut the dowel, but I say that there's probably a few more things we can do. I don't do everything in the order of the book as they suggest, but I tell you, there's just a few more items I'm going to have to hunt and find before I can really take this much further. Probably find a dowel or a twig or something like that. And right now, there's really nothing like that within my reach that I can find, but I tell you what, I say that perhaps I'd probably find this little birch dowel here. There's probably going to be a little cut to be made in that. Or no, actually this is a poplar dowel. That's kind of the thing I've been finding at Lowe's lately whenever I go to looking for dowels that are thin enough to use. And we're going to measure it out here. Kind of say that it's like takes, and we're going to look here, see what we need, what it needs to be, and there's a way to cut the dowel to the size it needs to be. It needs to be 3/16 of an inch, and I say that somehow I need to look here to see how long the dowel needs to be. Unfortunately, I'm not seeing that, and I need to look here to find out. It says I'm telling you, I'm just getting lost here, trying to find out what it's supposed to be, how long the dowel is supposed to be. So we're going to have to check the time here, see what it is. I tell you, since the shepherd is supposed to be holding a staff, it's like I mean, it says cut a 5 1/14 inch to 3/16 inch dowel here. So that's probably going to be one of the further steps. But I say right now we will look for a bar clamp here to try to hold the work in place while we're doing it. Luckily we got one right here that I can find, and we're going to take it and kind of join it up here to kind of make it with the hands like this. It says here we need 3/16 inch drill bit. Let's kind of look at what bits we have here. Make sure we got the right one in the drill. And it doesn't look like we do, so we're going to have to figure out how we're going to get that in. And come to think of it, sometimes I think the way I do it is always just kind of work my way up a little bit with the bits. Kind of try to start out with a smaller one to begin with and just kind of raise it up as I go. Kind of go a little deeper as I go. So we're going to start out with this little one we've gotten here. And I think sometimes these things, they'll get a little out of control. It's hard to get them in the right way. So I think we're going to struggle here to get it where it needs to be. So I say we might need to slant it a little bit. Kind of get it where it ought to be. So there goes that one. And we're going to move on to the next. I think I do see something like a 3/16 going further up here, but we're going to take these bits and go with them little by little by little. And I've got a little smaller one here, but we're going to take it on and we're going to make it go through here. And I say we've got a good hold there. That's probably the reason why they tell you to do the drill from a slanted direction here. And I think at this time we're going to get up to a 1/16 and work our way up to the 3/16. Not sure if I got this exactly the way it ought to be, but we're going to take it a little further on, kind of work along with it. Well, actually, that was the 3/16, so we're going to kind of try to see how the dowel fits through it. And it seems like we're getting along on this just fine. And I say with what we're doing here, probably made it so it wasn't exactly like it ought to be, but I tell you, it's so hard to do when you don't have a big enough drill or a long enough bit. So you gotta go further along here again. And finally, we're going to almost get it in, but try to go a little further along with this. Try to see how it goes, see how it does, and it's going to get there eventually. I say that the work is going to come along just fine, and we're going to get it in. I tell you, unfortunately, couldn't get it the way it ought to be, so I'd say it's probably just because I'm on video, maybe. So it's going to be quite a struggle here. So we're going to kind of cut the dowel down to 5 1/4 inch, and should have brought some pencils over here to do this with, but I'm getting onto this the best I can. Leave a little mark with my fingernail to start with, and kind of make the line with the knife now. And we're going to go over to the saw and cut this to the length where it needs to be, and do it with another as well. See, this is how it shall come along when we get it all done and made. So try to get this the best we can get it and see what it's going to do. I tell you, looks like we got it the best we could for this time around, but we're going to try to drill the other one too. But I think that as for right now, I might consider stopping the video long enough to do the other one. And of course, we might make the video a little short this time around, but there's just little things where we kind of got to do what we got to do here just to kind of get it where it needs to be, and just feel like I just broke the hands off trying to move the dowel around to where it needs to be. So take just a little super glue here and put it in that place. I say when this dries off, we're going to go to the next round of what to do, and I say the next bit of work is going to be the next thing we do. So I tell you, we're going to get a little piece of paper towel here and wipe off this glue that came out to the edge of the hands. So we're going to take care of that. I think I kind of got a little chipped on the edges, but this is something with which I'm not totally experienced just doing it away from the camera, let alone in front of the camera. So we're going to kind of turn this off here, and we're going to catch up on the next. So just want to say goodbye for now, and we'll be on again. I do want to come on and say that this other one did not turn out the way it was supposed to. It kind of drilled off a little too much off the edge. So what you do in a case like this is, I've gathered some sawdust over here. You kind of put out a little super glue, and you use a little sawdust over the super glue to kind of cover that up a bit. There's going to come a time when we're going to get a little further work done, and I will say with my experience, you know, it's going to take a long time to get to where I can do so much of this stuff on tape, on video, and I say that this little work of mine, it comes a long way, and I tell you, it just kind of makes the brighter days that we hope for sometimes. I say that we're going to try to work this out a little better, make this little shining light come through, and I say that, oh, this work, we're going to put it into it, you know. So I'd say that now that we've taken care of that step, the next step we have to take care of is to carve out the area between the hands. So we're going to kind of do it over this little mix of sawdust and super glue here, just to try to make it out a little more. And this is something where, of all things we do, I say that we're going to make the hands out the best we can. I'll tell y'all that I just like to demonstrate all this stuff. I like to show you all on video what I can do, but sometimes it's just hard to get enough practice when you're just not used to doing it that way. So we're going to have to sand along this later just to kind of get it out a little more right. But I say that this little work it's going to come a long way. I say that we just gotta kind of fill in a little crack here with a little dust, and kind of happened here on the front of the hands while I was trying to carve them out. But I'd say that's kind of the best we can do for this moment. We're going to take a little more care of this later, kind of get a little bit more put into it in a little while. So that's how this is going to come out. Make it all just shine so much brighter and better for us in the long run. I tell you, the thing of it is that I can't find any sandpaper over here, so we might just have to see what we have over here. Maybe on the next video or so I might have some to do something with, but I think I kind of see some in my bag here. So this is a little demonstration of how we're going to straighten out that little issue here. Try to make it look so much better, like real shepherd hands. Might be a little bit harder to tell the difference once it all gets sanded out and once the finish gets put on, but I'd say it's not going to matter too much, because perhaps this will have a good use for it, even if it isn't fit to be sold. So, and I'd say for next one, we're going to try to find that other piece of dowel that goes with this one here, put it in. I say that this little work shall come a long way, make its way into us, and I say that this one, the staff comes out crooked, but best thing you know is I've already had my practice at making these, so now my practice is doing it on video. And so we're going to have to try to, and if I don't find my thumb guard, just kind of do this the way it is, try to carve this line out, and have a little piece chip off that we just have to glue back into place. But we can take care of that here. We got something to do here, and we can just take care of that little mess there. And I say it's going to be better once we kind of get it all done. And I say that this is how it's going to go. We know have to get that chip back in place there, so it'll look its best when we go to trying to finish it and put it on sale. But we're gonna try to take care of this again, put a little glue back into place, and I say now, you know, there's a lot of work here. Got it in there just like that. just like it needs to be. Take care of the little things best way we can do them. I tell you, try to get where I can do stuff on video, but it gets a little tough here and there. There's another thing we're going to have to sand once we can get around to doing it here. And I say that, oh, the practice we takes just to do things, you know. Oh, the work it takes just to get ahead in life. But we still manage to do it all right, don't we? Well, I tell you, so much I'd like to be showing you all how to do, but hard to demonstrate when you're just learning things the way I am. It's just try to get this taken care of the best way we can, and I tell you, it's hard to get the work in just the way it needs to be. This is just my practicing drill. This is just a place where I get practice about my work. There's probably going to be a little more place to put in here, and probably just one more little crack to fill in with a little sawdust and super glue here. And we're going to get it in place, get it right where it needs to be. And as I want to show you all, this is about how I have made it turn out. I think there's going to be a little carving here to do for the hands. To kind of put the detail into the hands the way it needs to be. Make it seem right, make it act right, make it look right, sound right. All the work that comes into this and all the things I have to say. Work is going to be a better way to go. Work is going to do me so much better. It's going to take it into another little skeptical area of my life. But here we go. Taking care of just the little things we need in life. I think we've gotten that taken care of with the hands, and you can probably kind of see there's a little difference in the angle of how these stabs have turned out, but I'm going to try to carve out the rest of the hands on this one too. It might be a little bit harder since it's mostly super glue and sawdust, but I'd say if anything else, these will be good for something, even if they can't be sold. So I'd say we're going to take care of this magically the best way we can. Even had a friend suggest to me that sometime I do a video where I just like demonstrate to you all and just have a little vocal voice in the background, you know. And I'd say that this is how we come along on this for right now. I'm going to perhaps have a little more to demonstrate in another video, but thinking that as for this one, I'm going to finish this part on the hands because we put so much into this video already and work into this. So we're going to have to kind of bring it to a stopping place there, and there's going to be another time I'll get on and show you all a little more, but do think at this time I just need to show you all how the hands have turned out so far, and then I'm going to need to stop the video for the evening. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.